I'm Adam Jusko from ProudMoney.com. Should I start a new credit card? Could I start a new credit card? I'm going to tell you my thinking, and I would love to get your feedback. But first, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already. And if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So over the last couple of years, I've done a lot of reviews of these cards that have sprouted up from a lot of these small fintech financial technology companies. And sometimes the cards are really cool, but sometimes the cards really are terrible. And I'm like, I could launch a better credit card than that. And it's only recently that I've thought, could I actually launch a better credit card than that? What would it entail? What would I actually launch? What are all the things that go into it? So I'm going to give you my thoughts in this video. I mean, there are a lot of things that kind of come up. What exactly would that credit card look like? What would it offer that it differentiates? It makes it better than what else is out there? Am I a big enough platform on YouTube and otherwise for any partner to really want to deal with me? What are the legalities of doing that? Could you have a credit card company and continue to have a YouTube channel like this where you talk about competitors' products at the same time? A lot of stuff would go into it, but I'm going to kind of go down the path a little bit and see where it leads me. So there's about 5 big questions that come to mind for me when I think about doing this, and the number one is, the most important probably, is what makes a unique, better credit card in today's marketplace. It would be easy to say that you could give 7% cash back on all your purchases and that would be the best credit card out there. That may be true, but obviously the economics of the credit card market show you that that cannot be something that you can give and actually be a going concern as a credit card company. You look at the credit cards that are out there, it seems like the industry has sort of come to the consensus that right around the 2% cash back or 2% reward on average is sort of what a credit card can afford to give. Now, maybe they can afford to give more, and until a competitor does it, they're not going to go there. I don't know those numbers well enough. I know the credit card market as it exists, but I don't know the back end well enough to know exactly what combination you can give that is good for the cardholder and is still good for the credit card issuer. So that is definitely something that I would be looking at. And then the second piece to it then is, because everybody's trying to kind of figure out what that secret sauce is to potentially give to cardholders, but then I think the thing that is missing from so many credit card companies is transparency, and I think that would be a big differentiator to really go out there and talk about. And I don't know all the legalities, so this would be part of it too. But what credit score potentially do you need? Do we need to do a hard pull on your credit report if that's something that is important to you? We've seen with some cards that they're now doing soft pulls, so maybe you don't have to ding someone's credit score in order to give them a credit card. Once someone has a credit card, why is it so difficult sometimes to figure out what the problems are? Or when there's these fraud alerts, why do you make the person who's the cardholder jump through so many hoops when they are supposed to be the customer that you have trust in? So there are a lot of things that just don't get talked about, and if you ask the questions, either no one knows or no one is willing to tell you. So I would want to be more transparent about all that stuff, because I think that would be something that would make people feel good about a credit card company. And obviously with a YouTube channel like this, I could actually come on and talk about the card and say, here's why we're doing this. Here's why the rewards are structured this way. Here's the credit scores we're kind of looking at. But if you had too many cards in the last 6 months, your credit score would have to be higher, or whatever the case might be. Talk about all those different reasons that you might get approved or denied, or if there is an issue on an ongoing basis, with a credit card, why we are doing things the way we are. It would be very interesting for someone to do that, and so far it is usually a black box with all the credit card companies out there. Now, of course, the potential downside to doing that, coming on YouTube and saying, here's all the things that are happening behind the scenes, is that a lot of people would use the comment section to just complain about the reasons that they got declined for the credit card or something else. And so it would just turn into a whole customer service comment section on every video I made. Now, the number 2 question I would have is this platform big enough for anyone to want to partner with it in order to do something like this? Is 65,000 subscribers on YouTube really enough? I looked today, I've had about 4.5 million views over the last 365 days on this channel. So that seems like a lot. Now, some of those people probably watched one video and never again, but to have a channel where you can talk about the card that you are sort of promoting on an ongoing basis, or that you have an interest in on an ongoing basis, I would think is something that maybe would be interesting to a card partner. And who knows, maybe I could partner up with some other YouTubers and we could do it together. Maybe I get Sebi involved and Ben Hedges, maybe Graham Stephan's not going to do it. He could do one all by himself. And then the third question would be, how much money are we talking about? If I were to try to find a partner and help develop a card or cards and, launch the whole thing, got some people in as customers, kind of what's my piece of that pie versus their piece of that pie? And if I'm not actually handing the approvals and declines myself and somebody else is and their algorithm isn't very good, well, the whole company could go under or at least lose a ton of money if they have investor money or whatever. The big banks can screw all that kind of stuff up, and just because they have so much money in reserve, they can just keep going until they get it right and figure out what the secret sauce sort of is there in making sure that they're profitable. If you are a smaller company, you have a little less runway. The fourth question I would have is, who could I reasonably think about teaming up with? The way I would see this is that I would team up with someone and they would be sort of the back end and I would be sort of the front end of the marketing piece, talking on this YouTube channel and in other potential marketing channels as well. But I would not be the one doing the day-to-day, but I would want to be interested in the development of the card so that I feel like I'm putting something out there that I would be proud to put my name on. So there are a lot of companies out there that do co-brand cards, but I don't know how interested they would actually be in having someone like me in the development of a card, and I'm probably way too small for some of them. Capital One and Citi do co-brand cards, but they're gonna want huge retailers, not someone like me. Synchrony and Comenity, I'm probably too small even for them. Now, there are some smaller companies out there that are, fintech startups in their own way that are sort of white label credit card companies. We've talked about Cardless on this channel 1 or 2 times. They are the issuer, or at least the marketing arm behind some co-brand cards for a handful of sports teams. There's another company out there called Marqeta, I don't even know how you say it. I don't even know exactly what they do, but I know they're sort of into card issuing. So I'd have to find out, are these companies, any of them, even interested in dealing with someone like me? I don't know, maybe not. If you are, hit me up. But then number 5 would be around the legalities of what I'm doing now and how that might change if I was actually, part of a credit card company or had some affiliation with one and I was promoting their cards at the same time. I'm talking about other cards. Can I legally go on YouTube and say XYZ card stinks when it feels like maybe I have an ulterior motive because I'm trying to promote a different card? And now do I have to really be sure that I'm getting every specific detail of a other credit card right, so it doesn't seem that I'm somehow bashing another card and saying something that's not even actually true? Would that open me up to some legal issues there? I don't know. I don't know those legalities well enough, and obviously there are legalities that come into all of these things that we've talked about, so that is another thing to consider. So it's an interesting idea, something I am going to explore. It may go nowhere. I don't know. We will see. But I would love to hear your feedback about the idea in the comments below. If you have certain pain points that in particular always drive you crazy about credit cards or credit card companies, I would love to hear those as those ways of maybe, figuring out a differentiator with a new credit card or anything else that you want to talk about. So that is it. As always, please go to ProudMoney.com where we do credit card reviews, we talk personal finance, we talk deals, and all sorts of other fun stuff too. And if you want to watch another video from our vast catalog, I suggest this one.